So I finally found my tripod and I can actually film. Um, so what I did is I just snapped it off without using a cutter or anything of that sort. Snapped it off, the new growth with the back bulb that belongs to new growth, because the new growth alone is not strong enough to survive. It needs this back bulb to provide the energy until this new growth has put out enough new roots and everything to be able to survive alone. And yeah, what I'm gonna do, it used to be like this high, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant it down at this height so all the pseudobulbs are in one level. So for potting media, I'm gonna use this very fine bark that I purchased from Equagenera. It's the first time using this because the roots are very, very fine of the Miltoniopsis. I used to cut the bark into small pieces, but now I have this here. I don't need to do the cutting anymore. And because I like to keep my Miltoniopsis very, very humid and actually wet, yeah, I'd say wet, I add a lot of sphagnum moss. And the way I usually do it is, okay, it looks dirty now because it's all pot. It's in a self-watering setup with a wig and a very dirty reservoir. So when I'm using this wig here, but when I handle this wig, when I cut it, I like to put gloves on, because this material, whatever it's made of, glass fiber or something, it has little I don't know how to call them, little pieces that will actually sting into your fingers, and it's not very nice, and it's very hard to remove from the clothing either, too. So yeah, I have this pot, but it's always kind of tough to get this thing through the hole. So the trick I use is I put some tape around it. If I can get the tape out. Just around the tip. And then it's very easy to introduce the tip into the hole, and ta-ta, there you go. But of course afterwards you have to remove the tape, okay? And then the next step is tougher because you have to get all of this into this small pot. Actually, it would be easier if I had a greater pot to pot it into, but I don't. So somehow I will have to get these roots into this pot with the media. And there's a guy called Brad on the internet who showed how he repotted his Miltoniopsis, and I think this really worked well for me. What he does is he mixes the sphagnum moss and whatever he had, the perlite and the bark first, and then he puts it in the middle of the roots, and then he just pushes it in. That's what I'm going to try. And as always, sphagnum moss on the bottom of the pot. I don't really know why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because her holy mother of orchid growers, Miss Orchid Girl, told us to do so. So, ta-ta. I tried to plant the new growth and the older pseudobulbs on one level, as you can see. And yeah, here's another new growth, and there's another new growth in the middle. I don't know if I did a good job and adding enough media in between the roots, because there were so many roots. It would have been smarter to have a greater pot. As of now, I just push I have some media in the middle and then all the roots around it, and then I push it all together and into the pot, and then just added some media. I've done that before, it works, but I think it would be better if I had a larger pot, but I don't. So what can I do? And let's take it out and see. Yeah. Yeah. I think at some points the roots will witten the other roots. So I'll just leave it at that. And then what I like to do is I put sphagnum moss on the top, because some people said that sphagnum moss has the property of promoting root growth, and it gives the orchid enough humidity, so that's why I'm putting sphagnum moss on top. And I have another plant here. I think for demonstration purpose, this one is better. So again, the pot with a wick inside. I know it's all dirty, but I don't want to clean it, too lazy. And again, sphagnum moss on the bottom because she said so. And then, so here's the mixture of bark and sphagnum moss. Well, more or less mixed, I guess. So I take a handful of it. I try to put it like under the roots or in between the roots, and of course I forgot to water this first. And then with one big movement, I'll just shove it into the pot. All right. And then I just add media. I will break some roots, of course I will, but in the end the roots will grow back. So I'm not too worried about that. Some sphagnum moss, some fine bark chips, and there. And again some sphagnum moss. Push it down a bit, not too hard. You don't want to squeeze all the roots. This is where my new growth is. Usually they say you should pot the plant in a way that the new growth is in that the older pseudobulbs are facing the rim of the pot, the side of the pot. So the new growth, they will appear here. They have enough space to develop. But since I'm repotting every year anyways, I don't think that the new growth that are coming will fill up the rest of the pot so easily and so quickly. So I just potted it up in the middle. And again, some sphagnum moss around the base of my new growth. It's actually kind of late already. This new growth is not a new growth anymore. The pseudobulb will be forming soon, but since I was repotting now, I thought I'll just go ahead and repot it anyways. It was in sphagnum moss and actually little stones here. Turns out the roots were living alive, but they were too dry for my taste, and you see those shriveled leaves here. They say it's because the humidity in the air or in the room is not enough, but I think it's also because there was too little humidity in the pot. So that's why I decided to change the setup. And again, sphagnum moss. Well then, that'll be it for now. Bye.